Good evening and happy day to all those that are around the world and to those that are stateside. We're excited to be with you. Want to welcome in, of course, our House of Reconciliation, the Mother Campus in Greenwood, as well as the Satellite Campus in Greenville, and of course, to our virtual campus. And I have to give a shout out. I've been missing out. I have to talk about Chat About Life. Chat About Life is what birthed where we are today. It is Chat About Life, and those that are on social media, I have to give you credit. I appreciate how you've gone out, checked out Chat About Life. I hadn't mentioned it, but I'm happy and ecstatic to have you. And then, of course, those that are associated with Successful Living with Reginald Campbell. We do not plan to waste your time this evening. I know that you're busy with family. We have been dealing with a lot. We had Alina, we had Milton, and so now we must have a brief conversation. If you will see in the description, it says Vision Casters. I wonder which one of you, are you the type of person who wants to complain about something? Or does the situation create something and birth something within you that you can see beyond yourself? We started out with Genesis 47, and that's where we are. I'm going to read it, but I'm going to do it in a little bit difference of a context this evening. It says, Genesis 47 in the NIV, it says, and Joseph went and told Pharaoh, my father, my brothers, with their flocks, herds, and everything they own. This is what's interesting to me, have come from the land of Canaan and now in Goshen. He chose 5 of his brothers and presented them before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh asked his brothers, what's your occupation? And this is what they said now. Your servants are shepherds. They replied to Pharaoh, just as our fathers were. My question to you this evening is, what is your lineage? What's your innate inheritance? What is undiscovered in your life? Now, I'm going to show you how this mixed together, because when you look at Joseph, Joseph began to serve and reign with Pharaoh when he was around the age of 30. So I looked it up and broadcast it into the time that we live in. He would have been a millennial. And so I looked up the millennials and, went through what they were doing. And one significant thing was they collaborate. They're in the digital realm and digital world, and they share ideas. So here we go. Vision casters. So I go back to this, and I have to, because I've asked those that are joining us to study Genesis 47 and read at least one verse or the entire 31 verses every day. It will change your life. And then you can embrace what I'm trying to say to you. You can get more of the context and the narrative from it to really examine where you are, where you belong, and where you're headed. Because they went to Goshen. Now, Goshen is something we'll deal with later. But here's the thing. They were already gifted and talented. My challenge is, how does someone else have to take control of your destiny for you to see yourself? There is a context that is in the biblical principles that said we see ourselves as grasshoppers. Now, I want to go through this. First of all, they had family. When do you and your family actually discuss who your great-great-grandparents were? What secrets that you don't know? I'm not talking about the mess and the gossip. I'm talking about the creativity, the dreams, the vision. Was anybody an entrepreneur? Was anybody an author? Did anybody have a recipe? These are things that are significant. You don't always have to be the origin, but sometimes you can bring the origin gift to life. What was it that your parents and grandparents wanted to be that you had not even thought of? So then he says, listen, and it was shocking to me when you bring it into today's time, how does skilled people go to someone and say, you can do better with what I have than what I can do? But yet they had to ask your brother about a dream they couldn't interpret. Sometimes you're listening to everyone else and you're not listening to the still voice within inside of you. Because believe it or not, the source of life, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, he will speak to you. And he will speak in your spirit. So now here's the thing that kills me. They took their flocks. their family, their herds, and everything they own and gave it to someone and said, hey, listen, I don't know what to do with this. And I just wonder why. So you control me and I can do better with you controlling me. I want to share something with you. This is the birthing of complacency. Sometimes people in your family have issues and jealousy and whatever it is they have. But families, we need to pull together and learn to listen. Listen, let me give you one insight. You may not like your gift. And you're looking at one who could give you a long story on that. But your gift is what will set you on the path to your destiny. You may not like your innate inheritance. You may totally disagree with it. But here's the thing. You didn't choose it. It chose you. So this period of complacency that people have, well, I don't want to be like my father. I don't want to be like my mother. I don't want to be like my grandmother. I don't want to be like, listen, that's your inheritance. That's your lineage. That's not going to change. The question that I have is when you answer to God, what are you going to tell him? I didn't like what my dad did at all. No, I didn't want to run the company business. I wanted to do me. But you want to take the company money to go do you. Come on, people. Vision casters. It has to be awakened that we get out of the form of complacency. So my question to parents with kids and to the millennials, hey, here's the question. Have you found your purpose? Obviously, in Genesis 47, they had not. As long as things were going well, I got a paycheck, I got my rhythm, I've got my good beats going on, I'm cool. But when things don't go my way, what are my resources? What do I draw back on? In fact, let me be plain. What's making money for me besides me making money to give away? I mean, think about it. 30% of your income goes to the federal government. Then you got to go buy food. You got to go pay taxes. You got to pay the mortgage. You got to pay for the cars. You got to pay for the kids. What do you got left, Bob? Not that much. You do have vision. You won't take time to listen because they gave away their freedom. So when I say vision casters, you can go to Galatians 5:1. It says, stand fast in the liberty wherewith Christ. Now, see, here's the whole point. You have an innate gift, but you also have a spiritual birthright. And the problem is you don't see the spiritual side. But if you go to Genesis 2:7, he says, I don't care what deity you want to worship. Nobody else can claim eternal life and the soul of man but God. I'll wait. Go look it up. He says, and God breathed the breath of life into the nostrils of man. Clay. And then it says, if you read section C and D, and man became a living soul. Didn't say human. Didn't say UFO. A living soul. So you have an eternal spirit that came from somewhere. God never placed you on earth to be empty. It is the environment and the culture that makes people empty. So when I looked at it in a context and that he was in his 30s, he would today have been a millennial. And so they are into the digital age. I mean, I had to call my son last night. Old man couldn't figure out how to get the keyboard working. Now I got a problem with something else. It's beyond my comprehension. So I've got to go to him. And parents, it's okay to go to your children because we're family. And they have knowledge that you will never understand. So here's the thing. What direction are you going? I know you may not know, but let me explain something to you. Your children are right behind you. So if you're in the ditch, they think the ditch is the top of the well. You need to take the time as we close out 2024 and figure out what's your direction. Now, here's the thing. I have to go to the ones that don't want to listen and don't want to think. Listen to this. Many people don't think they need this. They don't think they need additional income. They don't think. And so Pharaoh said to them, now notice this. They said that they were shepherds. And where did he put them? Over his things. If you can be over someone else's things, you can learn enough to be over your own things. And plus, you're coming in with experience. And now this is what kills me. Someone else is going to use your gifts and talents for free. Because you don't want to copyright. You don't want to put a patent on something. You just, it ain't nothing. But as soon as someone else gets it, that sweet potato pie, and they get your ingredients and figure it out, now you're mad. And I'm just trying to tell you, you're going to need this information. And one thing, let me give you this. We talked about at the beginning when I started doing online was, what's your insight? Do you even know who you are? Do you even know what you are? You're more than skin and flesh and a few organs that weighs about 8 pounds. Who are you? You were not put here over one wonderful evening. You were put here with purpose, direction, and you were given gifts. So what's your insight? How are you going to maneuver? There's a text that says that I will make you wise as a serpent and yet humble as a dove. But you don't think you need this. The other thing I want to share with you, most people have no discipleship and no discipline to their finances. Get all the overtime. Many people are working 2 and 3 jobs. Get all the overtime. Listen, you could have put that energy in school, so you could have worked 1 job that would have paid you enough to cover 3 jobs. Because if you don't have time, and I spoke with someone today who's a nurse, and they were saying that one of the things that have perplexed many cultures is that they kept everybody else's children when their children was at home by themselves. So while you're taking care of someone else's flock, who's taking care of yours? Who's investing? Who's casting the vision? Because if you look at media, most of the time media only has one type of hero. Is it you? Sometimes media in these games only show one person winning. Is it you? You're teaching other kids their alphabets, but who's teaching your kids? Because you come home tired, drained, wore out. Man, I done did 3 jobs today and probably got bills for 6 people. We got to draw back. We got to become disciples of discipline. We got to become disciples of finances. Now, here's the thing. Now, this is crazy. What you don't believe in others, they will use it for their advantage. Now, what does that mean? What you don't believe about yourself, now you're subject to be used by other people. You can think, they use your thinking to make them successful. You can move boxes. You can do things real quick. Oh, they're going to use your skill to move boxes, but you're going to get pennies and they're going to get dollars. Because you don't believe. You don't have a belief system. You have a situation, not a belief system. When you have a belief system, you have to protect your belief. People don't want to plan. They don't want to think ahead. They're just happy for the day. I can't wait till the weekend to go get my head right. And most of the time, your head is bad. So I'm just saying to you, what you don't believe in, what you don't believe that you've received as an innate inheritance, and if you were to tap into your spiritual birthright, you would have never gone to Pharaoh and said to Pharaoh, you can be the master over me because I can't manage myself. And had not you sold your brother and sold your brother out because he had dreams, those dreams could have been kept in the house. Oh, it's got a little sauce on it today. Got a little mustard. They sold their brother. Ah, man, he crazy. He got dreams talking about, we got him. See, you saw yourself as a servant to your brother when you were his right hand or left hand. So your sister could have been your left hand or your right hand, someone who helped you. But because they were inferior to your gift, you didn't choose your gift. Did you buy it at Macy's? Oh, I forgot. You bought it at Sears and they're out of business, so you can't take it back. You got to love what God gave you. And sometimes you got to fall in love with it all over again. And I know those that know me know that there's something about to awaken in me, but we're gonna bring that one down. Come on down. Come on down. So here's the thing. This is about you now and a team that you build. Joseph's family did not have to become subservient to other people had they used the strengths within the house. So they went to someone who was going to give them pennies when their inheritance were dollars. So Pharaoh said to them, oh, well, where's your daddy? I'm going to put them over my stuff. If you can run someone else's company, run it enough to learn how to build your own. The problem is, yours is not going to be like theirs. Let me help you out. They've had theirs for 15, 20, 30 years. You've had yours for 3 days, 3 months, 18 months, and you're trying to be where somebody is. You can't jump stairs that way. You're going to have to be patient and be developed. Now, let me give you something else. And see, here's the thing. This is about you now and a team that you build. This is what the millennials are strong. So I want you to like, share, and post. And I want you to tell your friends. Y'all need to go see that little crazy old bald head man. See him Sunday morning at 8 o'clock at 33 Market Point Drive. Give him 20 minutes. And he's going to make you think, and you'll be thinking for hours and days down the road. Because here's the thing. What's in your life now, I'm going to ask you this question personally. Can it create you new acquisitions? Who you hanging with? Who you socializing with? Who you barbecuing with? Can they help you acquire new acquisitions? Can you get contracts for your company? Or y'all just talking? Sitting around drinking Schaefer's beer, Boone's Farm strawberry wine, and talking about all the different things and none of the things that matter to your present or your future. Let me share this with you because I'm not going to hold you long because I know kids have to go to bed, and I thank all of you that are joining me and that will watch this across the world. You need an accountability partner. I'll say that again. You need an accountability partner. You need someone, and you need to get away from people who have the lack of innovation. They have no idea. They just on the bus. Oh, I just on the bus. And I just had so happy. God, let me see you at the holidays. I need an accountability partner. Someone that can hold me to insight, impact, influence, to let me know what I'm doing is important. It will awaken my innate inheritance. I have young people around me so we can collaborate because they have digital ways of thinking. And you know what they do that other generations didn't do? They share their information. They're not selfish. So here's the thing. Move away from people who lack innovation. Find an accountability partner who has already been tried and proven and that will mentor you. Now, here's what's stupid. We don't think we need mentoring. Let me tell you something. The book is good. But the book and experience, it shaves off about 65% of your failure. And it shaves the other 35% of do-overs. Find an accountability partner. Now, here's a question, because we just got, what time is it? Oh, we just got about 2 minutes together. Are you willing to invest in your future? Are you too busy celebrating your now? I'll say it again. Are you willing to invest in your future? You are somebody. Clothes, cars, houses, a status on a job and employment is not who you are. When you were born, they gave you a birth name. Now, you don't have to like it, but it is what it is. Are you willing to invest in you? But see, here's the kicker. Before you can invest in you, you got to believe in you. And if you start believing in you, You will become a vision caster. Walk away from people who don't have discipline. What does that mean? People who caught up in the yin and the yang and the nay and the say and I heard and they heard. You have to remove yourself. This is time to really get focused. It isn't about what people will let you have and what people won't let you have. This is a time to know and get back to the source of life. Go back to church. Find a spiritual church. Now, I'm with you. It's a little rough. People flying all off the walls and stuff. I get that. But find a place that challenges you spiritually and helps you build your intellect and intelligence. And here's the thing. There are consequences when you don't use and strengthen your innate inheritance along with your spiritual birthright. Now I'm going to close, and here's something that people struggle with. Everything has a level of responsibility and accountability. Instead of viewing it as a stumbling block, align yourself with your innate inheritance and your spiritual birthright, and you will form a thing called purpose that will lead you to your destiny. Listen, join me Sunday morning. I have an early bird service in Greenville, 33 Market Point Drive in Greenville. Join me. I will be at the Mother Campus, 210 Pansy Road, Hodges, South Carolina. And of course, the virtual campus until all of our global connections. I'm here because you don't believe in me, but you believe in the word that God gives me to share with you. That not only helps you build spiritually, but helps you grow naturally so you can create this thing called legacy. I'm proud that you believe in what I do. I'm thankful, and we're going to restructure and we're going to see. I need you to believe in the process. Have a great evening.